Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, it was our fault. We made a mistake. Spotter said it was clear. It wasn't clear, and, you know, I didn't want to tear my car up, tear his car up either. I respect everybody, and I demand respect. And, you know, I apologized to the guy when he came over the car, explained to him what happened, and then he took it to another level when he started calling me an idiot and whatever else. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to take it. I told him how I felt. I called him out. He didn't show. You know, and so, you know, I'm good with it if he's good with it, but I'm not going to be disrespected by no means.
Yeah, I guess I had a dinner date at Applebee's last night that I didn't find out until it was too late. It's a shame. Love their riblets and boneless wings, but...
All right, folks, welcome back to Meet Me at Applebee's, your number one unrefined motorsports podcast. It's Brian with Rob and Ashley, as always, and we got some racing to talk about. We got Daytona and whatever the fuck else happened. So, folks, how we doing this week?
I'm doing pretty well. I have no jokes this week. How about you, True Love?
Well, I ate a Thanksgiving meal amount of KFC right before we recorded.
Man, I love their green beans, or I did when I was a kid anyway. That was always the...
Of all the things
so
to
good,
fucking
man.
be excited about, KFC green beans.
Well, we were talking about it before the show started, and when I was a kid, we used to hit up the KFC buffet after church on Sundays, and that was a feast like you wouldn't fucking imagine, boys and girls. I used to love that.
The gizzard buffet.
Yeah, the gizzard buffet. They had chicken livers and all sorts of shit on there, but it was, yeah, those days are long gone.
Yeah.
Now we got gray Cracker Barrel. Actually, we don't. Never mind. Did you
Cracker
guys see
Barrel's
that?
back. Cracker Barrel is back. They brought back the stupid fucking logo.
Our great
Jesus
national
Christ.
nightmare is over.
I have not been to a Cracker Barrel in over a decade, and I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. So,
I was just mad they were taking the shit off the walls and probably getting rid of that little peg game that's on every table. But
I'm willing to bet that all that shit's still happening.
Yeah, for
it's probably
sure.
just the logo.
Well, this is me finding out live that they changed it back.
Breaking
it literally
news.
was just announced like hours ago. So yeah, it is still breaking news. But
It's too
who
late.
the fuck
Damage
cares?
is
Because
done.
no NASCAR drivers fought in their parking lot. So
No, but they did get their trailer
Yeah.
stolen. Remember that?
oh, that's
McLeod?
right. Yeah,
Not BJ
Man,
McLeod. I'm sorry, Mike Harmon. Yeah.
Man, Mike's got all the fucking chain
the
restaurant
roadside
drama.
chains on lock. Oh yeah, that's been a fun distraction for the past couple days, but so was Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona happened. Let's see here. It was just Xfinity and Cup this weekend. And let's see. So Saturday, the Cup, or Friday, the fucking Xfinity race. What's the story here? Like, what's? I mean, obviously Parker Kligerman winning, that's a whole fucking deal. But we'll get to that. But what else is there to talk about this race?
Yeah, True Love, you're gonna have to lead this one. I think I watched the last 40 laps.
Okay, let's see what I got here. Natalie Decker made her return after giving childbirth.
Oh,
That's
terrifying.
true.
How'd
After
it go?
birthing a child. She finished 22nd.
Oh,
So
Yeah, I think she got. I feel like she got caught up. No, she didn't get caught up in that last wreck. She had like fuel pump or some issues right before their last wreck happened. So, but yeah, she still, didn't cause any wrecks. So that's good.
that's a good start.
But Matty D sure did.
Did you really?
He was involved in every single incident, I'm pretty sure.
That's good.
He was responsible for spinning Harrison Burton, and then Harrison Burton got injured inside the car from flying debris.
Yeah, his crush panels and shit were all flying over the car, and he like cut his neck or something.
Yeah, all of his tchotchkes flew off the dash.
And his team offered him a wet towelette for his injuries. So,
Congratulations.
Dude Wipe helped.
Yeah, I didn't know Matty D was the harbinger of death in this one.
Well, at least early in the race.
Yeah, can't let Austin Hill have all the credit, I guess.
Yeah, his credit comes later. Connor got out
Did
of
he
the
wreck a
car.
bunch of people?
Oh, he did. He
Throughout
did.
the
Yes, we'll get to.
entire-
Well, no, not throughout the race, but the end of the race. We'll get to
I
that.
got you.
Connor got out of the car at the first caution, which was Harrison spinning, which was like only like 15 laps in, which makes total sense. You know, like it was, I think I talked about it last week, you know, they didn't need to necessarily start him, but it makes total sense. You know, again, this type of race, granted he's going to be running up front, but, you know, wrecks happen everywhere. Kid's your meal ticket. He's going to be, you know, he already got announced to go to Trackhouse. You know, we'll get to that, but, you know, it makes sense. Get him out of the car, let him heal up, and put somebody else in, and, you know, that all worked out. And from there, you know, it was a pretty standard plate race. You know, there were a couple wrecks. Were there two big ones, or was it just the one at the end? I can't remember.
There was a pretty big one kind of in the middle, where there was that moment where Caesar
Vaccarella
had a arc of brakes.
Yeah, and that beautiful 7-Eleven car. I'm glad he wrecked so it actually got on camera. Oh, did he? Jesus.
Let's see. I don't know. My notes are all over the place. I think that's all I have until the end, so.
Yeah, I mean, so...
Yeah, this is where I tuned in, and I watched this. Again, we've talked about it a bunch of times. My antenna won't pick up the CW, and I have to stream it illegally or watch the battle cam, which is what I chose to do. Way too much racing going on. Didn't feel like fucking with mirroring something from my computer or phone, so I just put that on. And honestly, I don't like it for races that aren't super speedways because, you know, there's an actual non-packed race going on. But in a pack, it's actually kind of nice just to sit there and watch them dudes rip around. And during cautions, you get to see whatever random shot this guy's focused on. And I got to see Richard Childress yawning and leaning against the pole for a good 3 minutes. So, enjoyed that very much.
The one time that I watched the Battle Camp 2, he lasered in on Richard Childress for way too long.
Maybe that's just a feature of the show. I don't. But yeah, for plate races, folks, definitely something worth doing if you don't like the broadcast team for whatever reason. But I don't know, the CW is pretty good, so there's really no reason to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, the end. I'm trying to think. There wasn't really as much of a battle up front. I mean, Parker had the lead. Who was next to him? Like, who was behind him at the end?
I don't know. I think Sammy Smith was up there.
Yeah, he was up there.
Yeah, Sammy Smith was there. Sheldon Creed was kind of up front and stayed in top 10 for a little while, but he kept getting shuffled back and forth depending on what lane he was in.
I think the story at the end, for me at least, is you got Parker up front, and everybody's excited for Parker leading and potentially winning. And, you know, turn 3, there was a big one, and that caused the caution, and, you know, Parker got the win, which, you know, that's cool. But they focused on Parker and that whole post-race celebration, did not even show one replay of the fucking big one for 10 minutes. Like, they did everything, all the front stretch interviews, everything, and didn't show one replay of the big one until way after. That was fucking incredibly frustrating because, like, I wanted to see what the hell else happened. Which, of course, was Austin Hill more or less causing the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter pointed out that since he's returned from his suspension, he has wrecked or been involved in wrecks that have ruined 29 cars in like 3 races.
Yeah, he's on a tear.
Yeah. And he was bitching about the fact that JRM cars didn't want to work with him, which Junior talked about. He told his drivers, like, listen, if you want to help Austin, that's fine, but you're going to finish second, so don't work with him, which is why they don't work with him. And he got into, he tried to wedge a hole between Nick Sanchez and somebody else, and he got loose, and then that just caused a big pileup. Yeah, it was big, but I mean, you know, but that was between those 2 cars. But yeah, there's another car below all of them. But yeah, it was Austin Hill doing Austin Hill shit. And yeah, we didn't hear anything about it until 10 minutes after the race. And again, good for Parker. It's a cool moment. You know, granted, I know Rob and I both felt a little bit weird about how much they were playing this all up with, you know, Parker getting this moment, you know, filling in for Connor and all that, and you know, he tries to plant the flag in the ground, and the flag breaks, and that was funny. And
snaps like Connor's collarbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to feel for Parker, man, because
Yeah, for sure.
he's certainly talented. And again, I don't know if full-time racing is really in the future for him. I don't know if he's content being a broadcaster, but he's certainly found a niche in that world. And I don't think he has the funding to really like go for a full-time ride that would be competitive anyway.
Yeah, but he's also still pretty clearly good. Like, he's not a bad driver. He's won twice this year, technically. So
Yeah, different types of racetracks too. So Parker's got the skill.
they're both at Daytona.
But didn't he win Martinsville too?
No,
A couple years ago.
a couple. I'm talking about this year.
I just mean in general, like his skill level. He's good everywhere he goes. He's one of those guys.
Last year, he almost won the Roval, and then he didn't.
That's right. Yeah.
I saw him win the truck race at Mid-Ohio a few years ago.
Yeah. See, that's a lot of wins we just rattled off here, or almost wins. I think, it's a shame, and I really I understand why they do it, and I don't really know if there's a better way to do it, but I really hate that Connor Zilic is going to get credit for that win. Especially when he did so little. And it's the rules. I understand it. They do it to encourage guys to not drive hurt. And it's been a rule in NASCAR for as long as I can remember. I mean, I remember Kenny Wallace hopping in the car for somebody at some point. In the 28. Who was that? I can't remember who it was.
Well, he filled in for Ernie, but that Ernie was already out. It wasn't like he, got in the car midway through the race. But there
were relief drivers back then, and it was the same rules. And I think the big one that's sort of in the modern era was Eric Almirola and Denny Hamlin at Milwaukee.
Yeah, that was the last time there was a win with a fill-in driver like that. So
yeah, I've just always
20 years.
felt weird about the points being awarded to the driver and all that. And again, I'm not really sure how you split that up, how you fix that.
I don't even care about the points and stuff. I think it's more the credit.
Yeah.
And I know, like, Race and Reference did a nice thing. They put, like, Connor Zilic, but with Parker Kligerman or something, Like,
Yeah,
but again, that's
after
Racing
the
Reference.
race, Parker had said, this is the most me thing that this won't be on Racing Reference.
Yeah. 100%.
That was a nice gesture from them.
Yeah, he's got a pair of big asterisks next to his name, which is a shame. But
yeah, doesn't get to keep the trophy, but he gets to keep his little broken checkered flag. So
perfect. How appropriate. Seriously, though, how pretty was Cesar Baccarella's 7-Eleven car? I love that.
It was great while I was flying into the middle of that wreck at top speed.
Yeah, so
almost killing multiple people.
And you can see it coming. That's the best part about it.
Yeah. But yeah, while we're talking about all the Connor stuff, he of course got announced to drive the Trackhouse car next year, and even though this is like the worst kept secret in the garage, he still was like pretty emotional when announcing it, which was interesting to see. And I'm sure he'll do good things in that car next year. So good for him. Hopefully he just drives like a little less of an asshole, because he's gonna get his ass handed to him if he does.
Yep.
So.
That's for sure.
Yeah, they didn't say which number, so I'm curious. Which one
I mean,
pick,
I don't.
You gotta assume the 99.
Yeah, unless Red Bull has something to say and wants him in a different number, I guess. But that'd be the only. I would have
figured they would have said 99 if it was just gonna be the same number.
Well, that'd be a good-looking car, though. Those Red Bull cars always look nice. Which, by the way, Red Bull might be luring away Alex Palou. Did you guys hear about that? That's the big Formula One.
For what, F1?
Yeah. But we can talk about that later on when we get to the IndyCar stuff.
I got F1 news, my boy. Got a ride today. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I guess moving on to Saturday night. I don't know. This was a good race. We see Todd Gilliland was involved in every wreck.
Boy, Todd was on a sick one.
He was getting that pickle ride some airtime.
Yeah, no shit. Who was the first one? It was Tyler Reddick, right?
Yeah, Tyler Reddick, fighting for his life in the playoff cutoff line.
Yeah, wrecked from
taking
83rd
out of lap
place.
19.
Yeah, but then also Bowman got wrapped up in the big one, which was technically caused by Bubba Wallace. I know.
Well, yeah, it was, but there was a lot of guys involved in that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big one. It's a plate race big one. You can blame one person, but it's also not like This was a McDowell blocking the field situation.
I love all the dumbasses on the internet trying to assign blame to one person when it was just fucking 4 wide at Daytona.
I'm gonna blame about 3 or 4 people all at once.
Yeah, it was a lot coming together at the same time, but yeah, what are you gonna do? That wreck did produce the most frustrating broadcast moment I've seen in some time. Of course, Joey Logano, one of the chief contributors to this yard sale we got to see on the front stretch. They played a replay of his radio during the wreck while showing a shot of him stationary sitting in the tri-oval. And it was the most infuriating, just pointless and non-helpful piece of broadcasting I've seen NBC or any network do. It's like, why did we do this? What was the point of that? What the fuck? It's just a shot of his car just sitting there with this crazy radio happening. And then I don't think they said anything after it was over. It just kind of moved on into the next thing. It's like, well, I'm glad we got to burn that 30 seconds together.
Yeah. Cody Ware. So coming into the race, Cody apparently got a fortune cookie at a Chinese restaurant that said like victory is within your grasp or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And he ended up like leading a good portion of the race because this was a 400 and the stages were a bit different and not as many guys were fuel mileage saving mode. And he was one of those. He was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to go up front and see what happens. And
yeah, he was definitely behind on strategy, or ahead on it, I guess, and there was no way he would have won if it went green.
Yeah. I mean, you said they're battling Ty Dillon, so it wasn't.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. But hey,
I
he
did
got
like his little Jamocha Shake car, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Arby's cars always look good. After the race, he was like, we're going to win soon. You guys are going to see it. I'm like, no, you're not.
Where? Where the fuck is that going to happen,
dude? It will not happen. Not
His
anywhere.
brother tweeted out, I can't believe P.F. Chang sells fake fortune cookies.
That's pretty good.
What makes them fake? What?
Well, he didn't win.
Because they lied.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, I think there's a better chance of Kyle Busch getting free queso for everybody from Cheddar's.
Oh, come on. It's top 8. It's top 8. He can get at least one top 8.
When's the last time he got a top 8?
Is that possible?
Fuck.
They saved the good car for Austin Dillon at Richmond, and that's it. It's all garbage from here on out.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
I mean, he was knocked out in that first track. Bowman was knocked out in it. Stenhouse, Hamlin.
Yeah, a lot of contenders were knocked out of that.
I was a little surprised to see Tyler Reddick get back out there and actually do pretty well for himself.
Insane amount of duct tape on that car.
Yeah, but it looked like they knocked the front clip off, or at least bowed some shit underneath there that might make it difficult to run in a pack, but I guess that's not the case. So where'd he end up? I can't remember. It was top 10, wasn't he?
In the playoffs. So.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. In the
That's
playoffs.
all that matters is in the playoffs, I guess.
21st.
That's better than expected.
Yeah. We got a pretty good finish. There was no big ones, I think a couple cars spun across the finish line, but I mean,
Yeah, Cole Custer definitely got sent.
Yeah.
At the end there.
But yeah, there was a good battle towards the end, and Blaney, I think he gained 12 spots in 2 or 3 laps, something like that, and saved Alex Bowman's ass, at least as far as playoffs are concerned, because he's already got a victory this year and he was already in the playoffs. So
well, I think we can. I think Alex Bowman needs to be sending Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott edible arrangements as well for their role in sending him down the elevator shaft, sending Priest down the elevator shaft.
Priest, and then he knocked Jones out of the way.
Yeah, boy, he was the perfect teammate for about 10 laps.
Well, Bowman already promised 7 million beers to Blaney.
Yes,
so.
he did. Yeah, I really wanted Cole Custer to win that race for 2 reasons. One, because fuck these playoffs. That'd be hilarious if he made it in there. And 2, I'm a Cole Custer fan, and it'd be cool to see them get themselves a win at Daytona. But I don't know, man.
I was just shocked to see him up there. I was like, holy fuck. Like, I don't think I've seen him in the top 5 all year.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, where did he come from?
Repopulated up there.
He was in this race. I forgot he was in the Cup Series.
I mean, I think the big story was probably Eric Jones. He was the flashiest guy who had made his way up there and stayed in the top 10 for the majority of the back half of the race anyway.
Yep. Plus in that old cool
so
petty
good.
car.
Yeah, you can't miss it. Also, Justin Haley getting third out of the deal. A lot of guys who really trying to hang on to their rides doing pretty good. Daniel Suarez, of course, doesn't have a ride next year that we know of. He got second. But yeah, that was good for a plate race at Daytona in the year of our Lord 2025 with the Gen 7 car. I thought that was all right. It was kind of crazy to see guys actually racing a little bit. The strategy was interesting. Still like not my favorite thing to watch, but it's on TV. And it's entertaining as fuck, so why wouldn't I flip it on? And these races are historically fun. They haven't been for a little while, but this was a good one. I was excited. I don't know if it was worth 92% or whatever it was on the Gluck poll.
I think similar to Atlanta this summer, that big one at the beginning, knocking out so many cars, really thinned the herd to make the racing
for sure
better. And a couple more instances I did want to mention. Todd put BJ McLeod on the wall.
Yep.
For his final act. And Logano spun from the lead, and then fake spun in the grass to bring out a caution. So.
Well, there's Todd on my TV right now. I've got the replay of the race on, and him just completely dog fucking old Tyler Reddick here, just clearing himself off his nose. That just happened right in front of me. So, but goddamn, what a beautiful car, that pickle car.
Looks so good.
And what an ugly ass car Tyler Reddick has. Holy shit, that thing. Not one of the better McDonald's schemes.
Well, so that leads us to. Do we want to talk about the playoffs now? Since we're kind of on the subject of everybody making it.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to Casey Mears for getting some TV time.
Not good TV time, though. Definitely not good TV time.
He was out there and made his presence known.
He wrecked, and also at one point he was in the pits, and one of his tire changer forgot the fucking tire.
Yeah.
That was great.
Still ended up 29th, so good for Casey. One spot behind Joey Gase, who was apparently in this race. I had no idea.
News to me.
We were finding that out live.
Yeah. I don't think anybody knew that.
So yeah, the field is locked. I guess the easier question to ask are who are our 4 guys out? Because that's what everybody seems to be talking about. Who are the first 4 guys out in the first round?
Well, I filled out my NASCAR fantasy thing, so let me pull that up real quick.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a thing. I didn't fill anything out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who do I have. I mean, even with the playoff points, I think it's going to be tough for SVG these first 3 races. Obviously, Austin Dillon.
Josh Berry.
Barry is a maybe. I don't think Cindric. I don't think he'll make it.
I don't know, man. Cindric is pretty sneaky, and he's going to
really
some places
good
that.
at St. Louis.
Yeah.
I guess
Somehow.
that's fair.
And he's having a better year as far as average finishes are going than Joey Logano. So I think.
Yeah.
So my 4, Austin Dillon, of course, because what the fuck's he gonna do? Unfortunately, Josh Berry. Tyler Reddick, I don't see him going out of the first round. It just hasn't been going too well. And I got to put Ross Chastain in there as well because I don't think that he's having the best time, or anyone at Trackhouse outside of SVG at the road courses is having a very good time right now. So those are my 4. That's a little bit of a hot take pick. But, I think Chastain and Reddick are the big surprises here.
I had Bowman out in the first round in mine, which I hate to say because I do like Bowman, but I just feel like he hadn't been showing up lately. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with SVG, Dillon, Cindric, and Fuck, I hate to say it, but I guess Chastain, because like you guys were saying, they're just not really on top of their game lately. So
yeah. That Charlotte was kind of the end of the line for them having big time finishes, and they honestly weren't all that great before Charlotte either. So I don't really know what's going on over there.
And he just learned how to squat today, so
Yeah.
Well, I do know that like after. It was either right before or right after this race. There were a couple like higher ups at Trackhouse that got let go.
That's true.
I forget which positions, but
Pitbull. Definitely Pitbull. No, they did let go some actual organizational guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, on the flip side, since we have no real data to back any of this up, do you guys have picks for the championship or the Final Four?
Elliott, Hamlin, Bell, Blaney is mine.
I'm gonna go with Hamlin, Blaney, Briscoe, and Byron.
I've got Denny Hamlin, Byron, Christopher Bell, and Ryan Blaney, with Christopher Bell being the long shot out of the group there.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys who could feasibly do it, but I think we all agree on Hamlin and Blaney. Those tracks at the end just line up for the Penske guys and Blaney in particular, so I don't think there's any reason why you'd expect him not to. And then Denny Hamlin is just, he's always there, so why wouldn't he be?
Yeah, and he's
Blaney,
really having a pretty good season. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blaney usually doesn't light up until further into the playoffs, but I feel like he's already on the up and up now, so.
Yeah, and I actually, just a couple of more hot takes for me. I have Bubba Wallace making the round of 8.
Me too.
And I also have Shane Van Gisbergen making the round of 8.
I'm holding on to some hope and belief. We'll see.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. Shane has
Just needs
some
the right people to shit the bed in that first round.
Yeah, it's a tough round for him, for sure. But if he can make it to the next round, Charlotte is definitely in his wheelhouse. So I think that's kind of where my whole crackpot theory stems from.
Oh, we're in the same crackpot.
Nice.
All right, well, we got the playoff talk out of the way. Apparently there was an ARCA race. News to me. Didn't see that.
I didn't either. I had to watch the highlights.
And did Brent
It was
Cruz
very
win?
boring. Someone named Max Reeves.
Oh, okay.
They led every single lap.
Oh,
So-
okay. Well, that's great.
Perfect.
It looked terrible. It was called the Badger 200.
And there was an IndyCar race. I had it on, but I don't remember anything.
What a
Like,
race that was.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
Well,
I watched.
that's you, Rob.
Yeah, I watched that out in the backyard. I watched a couple of races out in the backyard this weekend since the weather's been beautiful. And this was one of them. It looked like it was going to be the Alex Palou show for the whole duration of it up until about the last 70, 80 laps. David Malukas did get the lead for a little bit, which was entertaining. Had a big-ass move on the outside, got the momentum, and Will Buxton was perplexed at how he was able to do it, as if he's never watched an oval race in his life. But don't worry, folks. Alex Palou got around him, and it looked like it was his to lose, which it was because through strategy, Christian Rasmussen managed to get up front and drove the sketchiest race of his life. Absolutely on edge, all attack, ready to die, and ended up beating him by about a second and a half. First win for Christian Rasmussen. It kind of reminded me of Thomas Scheckter, the way he used to drive, just zero brain, all balls, and always spectacular. Just as well could have wrecked the car instead of winning it, but looks like the Lord was on his side, and Christian got a big win there. That was bad to the fucking bone. The Milwaukee Mile put on a show again. It looked like dropping it down to one date was probably a smart move for IndyCar instead of doing the doubleheader, because the stands were pretty full. Even for the Indy Lights race, or whatever the fuck they call it now, before, who somebody won that I can't remember who was. I do know Haley Deegan came in 16th, so that's how that's going.
Oh, she's still doing that?
Oh yeah, she's still out there, but yeah. And But yeah, good crowd for that too. And yeah, just the short ovals, man. IndyCar, just keep adding them, please. And one more race left in the season. That's at Nashville Super Speedway, and that's usually a pretty decent show as well, even though the championship is already wrapped up. And Pato O'Ward has clinched second in the title, so it's third or worse now. I don't even know who's back there. Probably Scott Dixon or something like that. It's still going to be a good show, and I look forward to watching that this weekend on Fox. And speaking of Alex Palou, like I said, it sounds like Red Bull might be trying to court him for an F1 ride, which I'm sure everybody else in the IndyCar field would love to see after 3 years of him just dick stomping them. And Brian, you said you had F1 news too? Is this Valtteri Bottas?
Oh, of course.
Going to Cadillac? And Sergio Perez, the dogs.
I don't know. It's not that I'm gonna watch anymore, but I'm excited for Valtteri. And I only today learned he has a calendar where every month is just a shot of him doing something with his ass out.
Yep.
And Mercedes wouldn't let him do it this year, but seems like Cadillac's a little more open to it. So I plan on getting that next year.
Wrote that in his contract.
Well, no, Bob Pockris asked him about it, and today at the press conference, and he was like, "Yeah, Mercedes said no, but Cadillac, I think I have a little." Even the Cadillac guy was like, "Yeah, we could probably work something out." So, yeah.
Well, I'm a big Sergio Perez guy, so I was excited to see him get a shot with Cadillac. We'll see how it goes. I mean, new team is coming into Formula One, don't typically do all that well. So
apparently there were rumors that Cadillac was trying to court Christian Horner to come over and run that, but then they refuted that very emphatically. So that's probably for the best, I guess.
Yeah, he's probably on the Epstein list or something. That's why.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure. Let's see, some sad news.
Very sad news, man.
The legendary track promoter of Charlotte Motor Speedway, Humpy Wheeler, did so many cool things for the sport and just seemed like a great guy. He passed away at 80-something, I want to say.
86.
86, so that's always sad. But, you know, he had a long, legendary career and did a lot of great things for motorsports. So, you know, rest in peace to him.
Hopefully the Roval does something cool.
Yeah, like
this year.
If they aren't reenacting the invasion of Grenada on the front stretch, then I got no interest. I got
favorite.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say my favorite picture that I saw of Humpy this week was him with his entire head inside of a tiger's mouth.
So I'd forgotten about this friend of the program, Kyle Armstrong, in our little group chat with some other dirt late model folks. We were talking about Humpy a little bit, and he shared a cool story. I'm going to try and find it here real quick. If I can't find it quickly, I'll just give you the Cliff Note version. But I can't find it. But essentially, Kyle and his dad were, I believe they're at Carolina Speedway or something like that, and Humpy happened to be there for a promotion, and they were sitting in the stands, and somehow Kyle's dad got to talking to Humpy, and apparently they were from the same town. And Humpy was just talking to him like he'd known him for his whole life. And, oh, you know these people? Yeah, oh, we built that. You know, oh, you built that. You know, just like a couple of dudes sitting around on a racetrack having a conversation. And then after he got up and left after several minutes, Kyle's like, do you know him? And he's like, nope, first time I've ever met him. And apparently that's Humpy Wheeler in a nutshell right there. Just will give you the time of day, especially if he had a connection to anything he cared about. He would give you his time. And time is the most valuable thing any of us have, and I think that's that sort of respect for the fans and the people around him is what made his work so impactful. So I'll go pay my respects at the Hall of Fame next time I'm in Charlotte. I'll go have like a nip in front of his thing or whatever, this little plaque on the wall.
Nip in front of his thing.
Yeah. Oh, I did not go to college, but you guys hadn't figured it out already. I'm not that smart, but yeah, Humpy was he's a legend for good reason. I'll say that.
For sure.
Also, some sad news. I don't know if this made the notes or not, but Zachary YAGER was a pit crew member. He passed away unexpectedly over the weekend, I believe. Of course, I think he was working with ThorSport right now, or he was at least contracted out to them, but he'd been over the wall for RCR and Penske and a bunch of other teams. Unfortunately, he passed away at age 35, which is very, very sad. So thoughts and prayers to his family and all the teams who knew him.
Other news, Ram. I hate saying Ram because I know it's technically Dodge, but it's
it isn't.
Ram branding now.
Ram.
It's a whole fuck. I got a lot of feelings about this, but Ram announced that they're going to be sponsoring 5 trucks for Colleague Racing, and I guess the title sponsor for the Darlington Truck Race.
No, that's something else.
Oh, it is?
I just wanted to mention that the Darlington Truck Race is called the Sober or Slammer 200.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's this weekend, yes.
I'm going to need a T-shirt of that if they have them.
So look for that,
sale.
Brian.
Yeah.
I won't be there Saturday, unfortunately.
They'll still be selling them on Sunday?
No, they won't. No, they won't. They don't. There's no fucking truck series. I've been going to Darlington for over a decade now. I have not seen one Darlington Truck Series shirt. Trust me. Anyways, I don't like this whole Ram branding shit, and I don't like it at all. It should be Dodge. I don't like the fact they have Dana White doing their ads, and they're all pro-American. I don't like any of it. So
you don't like an American truck brand who probably builds their shit in Mexico?
Commercials are pretty obnoxious.
Yeah, they're fucking.
They're
bad. They're bad. It's just Dana White saying, "This is America. This is an American truck." Blah blah blah. Like fuck off. Like Dana White, go beat your wife some more, you fucking piece of shit. But yeah, that's happening. Colleague, great, yeah. Which is weird because they have the relationship with Chevy now. So I mean, I'm assuming they're going to be a Dodge Cup team whenever that happens.
Yeah, that's a weird deal. But I think you got to remember that truck engines are Ilmores.
Yeah,
it's not like there's any proprietary engine development going into this.
Yeah, it's just body more or less. So
I don't think it's a crazy. I'm sure it'll change in a couple years when the trucks. It sounds like they are going to be switching to more of a spec chassis and car, similar to what the Cup Series has going on in 2027, I think. But that's up the road. We don't have to talk about that yet. Maybe that's when it'll become a problem. For now, Ilmore builds all the engines, so it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
Also, Butterbean Queen sounds like he might be one of the guys in these trucks. And Daniel Dye being the other name that's been thrown around, which he's a guy. I don't have any feelings at all about Daniel Dye.
Yep, same. Let's see, the schedule for next year officially got announced. I mean, it's pretty much all the shit we've been talking about, Dover All-Star Race.
All of them, yeah.
Trucks had a new addition. They're going to St. Petersburg during IndyCar weekend.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which has led to Scott McLaughlin potentially getting in a truck. He's talked about it, and it'd be interesting. So,
why not? Winning St. Pete. The only thing there's not really many complaints to be had about this, aside from the fact that there's just so many goddamn road courses on the Truck Series schedule.
Yeah, that's very weird.
It's now 20% of the schedule is road courses. And again, I have no problem with any of the venues, really. I think St. Pete is cool. I'm happy to see that.
It should just be more short tracks and more smaller tracks that, like, the bigger series don't go to. It should go back to, I love the fact that Cup's gone back to its roots in a bunch of different ways over the years, but I think it'd be way cooler for the Truck Series to go to smaller racetracks and ones that don't get bigger NASCAR dates and give, because that's the thing. Like, you fucking send a truck race to South Boston or wherever, it's gonna sell out compared to just being a companion, Cup Series date. So it doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not making that fucking date. So
they took Vegas and Pocono completely off the truck schedule.
Yeah, Vegas I don't understand at all.
Yeah, I guess money West Coast is my only logic there, but
they've never given a fuck about sending those guys across the country and have them drive all the way back to Pocono before. They just sent them all the way. Well, I guess the trucks weren't in Mexico, but they don't care about that shit.
They were like, well, we're going to send you all the way to San Diego, so we're going to cut you a break.
Let's see here. So I think we talked about it last week, but Uncle Kenny's garage sale happened.
Yes, it did.
Unfortunately, nobody sent me the Texaco Haviland fire suit. I saw the Red Dog fire suit was on eBay immediately for $1,000 and sold. So that's not a surprise. I would say the funniest thing was the fact that there was Kenny posted pictures of all the people that were lined up
So many
to
people.
go to the garage sale. So many
packed.
people parked around his house, which makes total sense. Like, listen, if I was within a couple hours, I would have been there at 5 a.m. sitting in my car. So
Well,
I
He said
totally
he was
get
scared
it. But
because people were parked around his bedroom windows.
yeah, that's a little weird. But the
trying to get a
funniest
peek at
thing
Kim.
was amongst these photos. There's one shot that Kenny took of the crowd in his garage, and there is this big monster of a man in a sleeveless Pure Pleasure Adult Mega Centers t-shirt.
He wore that to Kim's house.
Just amazing that's what you would wear in public to an event like that.
To
But,
Kenny Wallace's fucking yard sale.
yeah, and I feel like part of me feels like Kenny took that photo on purpose. Like, let's be honest. We all know
100%.
Kenny's sense of humor, so I feel like that was right up his fucking alley.
Who knows? Maybe that guy just bought that at the yard sale and just put it right on his body.
Yeah, perhaps.
He also sold his coffee with Kenny coffee mug that he drinks from every morning to a
some
man that
guy
he
offered
said, drove him batshit crazy to buy it for $22.
Sold.
That's weird. If you're paying more than $5 for a used mug, you're a fucking idiot.
So from what I gather from all of this is that obviously Dale Jr. has the weirdest fans in all of motorsports, but Kenny's got some too.
I mean,
Definitely in the top 5.
Weird attacks, weird.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure Dale Jr.'s had people show up to his house, but did they walk right in his house? That's the question.
It's a different kind of
He's got
bizarre.
a pretty fancy gate outside his house.
That's
Not that I've driven by it multiple times, but
all right, so the final news note, we got Meemaw's soaps. So what do we got, True Love?
I've missed this segment where you give little tidbits that you came across. I'm excited.
these were, the internet was just real dumb this week in the racing world, and so I just wanted to briefly touch on some things. There is one thing I wanted to circle back to from last week from my trip to Anderson, and I was talking about all the Darfs that were there who were hounding Dale Jr. for autographs. Well, I was going back through my pictures from last week, and I took a video of Dale Jr. walking through the crowd trying to get to his car for qualifying, and there's people following him, and I noticed behind him in this video there's a man following him who is holding a bowling ball in his hands, following Dale Jr. through the crowd. Just raw dogging a bowling ball in the middle of the track.
So I want to ask you something also to throw back to last week's episode. The guy you were talking about who just had an armful of papers looking
I
to get
posted a
signed,
little
and the
picture of
plastic sack of with 2 Michelob Ultras in there.
Yeah.
Do you think that he brought those beers? I've been thinking about this all week. Do you think he brought those beers so him and Dale could have a beer together?
Maybe a hot, steaming, boiling hot Michelob Ultra after.
Sat in my truck all week.
Beyond room
Yeah,
temperature.
that was cracking me up all week, just thinking about just some dumbass like, man, I'm gonna have a beer with Dale Jr. before the race.
No, I'll put it past them.
No, the bowling ball is amazing though.
Yeah. Okay, so Meemaw soaps. Apparently, Dave Moody had a caller this week who
Oh, yes. I heard
believes that they should take off restrictor plates because they ended the life of Davey Allison. My guess is this is the same man who saw Ernie die at Michigan.
Could be.
Yeah, could be. Very well could be.
We also had Brad Keselowski try to explain to his children why Daddy couldn't qualify on Friday. There was a lightning hold, and he explained to his children that a man died and the courts ruled that it was NASCAR's fault. So now they have to have insurance to cover. And her daughter was like, well, don't bad things just happen sometimes and it's nobody's fault. And Brad said, yes, but some judges don't believe that and it ruins others' fun. So. Just, yeah, the internet ripped him apart on that one. But to me, that just says, like, Brad is just basically telling his employees, I don't give a fuck about you. Stand out in the lightning because I want to make a qualifying lap.
He is a businessman. He's very business oriented, so that wouldn't
have done him
be
any
too
good
far from the
anyway.
truth.
Let's see. Jeffrey Earnhardt made a fun little post this week.
Yeah, he
Forgot
did.
about that.
Yeah, he did.
He shared a picture of himself standing in a Speedo that looks like jean jorts, wearing nothing but mud boots and holding a giant catfish that he shoved a beer can in its mouth.
Yep.
So further, just continuing to be the most embarrassing of the Earnhardt lineage.
Yeah, that's what Jeffrey's up to these days. Wearing some Daisy Dukes around, or Daisy Dales, I suppose.
Oh God, not Daisy Dales. Don't start. That's gonna become a thing. Let's see. Danica Patrick went to Burning Man again. I know 2 years ago we talked about her on here. She'd went to Burning Man and she got stuck in that, like,
In the mud.
that was, I don't know, rotting people's feet off. But this year she went back and there was a terrible, like, windstorm, dust storm that, like, knocked down all the tents. And she said she slept in her RV line with all the other people for like 15 hours. And then she posted some dumb thing that said, you gotta want it with Burning Man. And you realize all the challenges and changes and plans is the burn. So.
Yeah.
Well, she's trying to get to that dilapidated orgy tent they have there.
You can definitely catch a burn out there in the desert. There's no
Yeah,
question
you're gonna
about
catch a burn fucking in all that dust.
that. Daisy Dales. Dust fucking.
Yeah. What else? Byron debuted a new girlfriend at Daytona.
Oh.
Katrina
like-
Carpenter. That's what I heard her called.
Definitely the Temu Sabrina Carpenter.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Someone unearthed Ty Gibbs' childhood Instagram.
Yeah.
Has been inactive since 2014. So since he was 11. But I scrolled through it just to see what 11-year-old Ty Gibbs was up to, and it's pretty much what you would think.
Just an 11-year-old boy.
Just an 11-year-old boy.
Jesus Christ.
Well, the fact that
Well, true love. You know, we know we're talking about pedophile hunters later.
Yeah. It's a shame this isn't a segue into the video of the week.
any parent, to begin with, let their 11-year-old have a public Instagram account.
Yeah. It's not private. It's not a private
Not
account.
private. Just lots of selfies. My favorite hashtag that he used was hashtag chase me, baby.
Jesus Christ.
Should we just jump to the video of the week? Jesus Christ.
And let's see, one more thing here. The last time I do me my soaps.
No, come on.
We learned that Marissa Briscoe drinks raw milk.
Oh yeah, that's not smart.
The lady who was chugging raw cream pet treat married the driver who only eats chicken tenders. So
Yeah, that was the thing that made me laugh about it. I don't give a fuck if you drink raw milk, but if
There were multiple warnings on this bottle, not for human consumption, like more than one.
big bold letters.
But yeah, she definitely married someone with the opposite palate. They must eat at separate tables.
One more shout out I want to give is that video that was circulating this week of the guy on the 4-wheeler at the short track.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you were going to mention this in the
I
segment.
heard about that, but I haven't seen it.
Caught himself on fire.
Yeah, there was a car on fire, and this guy on the 4-wheeler was trying to push the car out of the fire.
I did see this.
And just drove into the fire himself, caught himself on fire, sped off, slammed on the brakes, turned into a bucking bronco, and then drove back into the fire. So that's all I got. Y'all want me to talk about Ty Gibbs' childhood Instagram some more?
No, we'll get to that later.
He's really into off-road bikes, Brian, which I know is a shared interest of yours.
Listen, I'd rather talk to Sheldon Creed about bikes than Ty Gibbs any day, so I'm good there.
Certainly a more
Or Jimmy
appropriate
Johnson.
age.
Jimmy Johnson also was a former BMXer, so I'm sure I'd have some conversations with him about that.
That's true. Well, I guess it's time for this week's Darf of the Week segment. And
Yep.
In breaking with tradition of picking people outside of the show, I have nominated myself this week. A few weeks ago, I forget what race it was, but I was, again, out in the patio watching NASCAR or late models, some shit. And it got pretty late, and I was like, yeah, you know what? It's time to go inside the house. And I turn around, and there's a skunk just chilling on my porch. And I reach down and realize that my garage, all my keys are just sitting on the kitchen counter. So I have to stand there and wait for this little fucker to vacate. Takes like 20 minutes, 30 minutes for him to leave because he's just hanging out, enjoying the night with me. And I was like, well, I got to make sure I never do that again. Fast forward to this past Saturday night. I'm out on the porch watching Daytona. Stage 1 has just come to a close. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's 9 o'clock. I should probably turn this all off and go inside and, not bother my neighbors. And I stand up, I turn around, and guess who's sitting on my porch again? It's that fucking skunk. And I was like, well, at least I have my keys this time. Nope, they're sitting on the kitchen counter again. So I have to stand there for another 20 minutes and wait for this little bastard to leave my porch. So I am the Darf of the Week for not learning my own lessons, and I think I got punished enough. I also didn't see much on the internet that was really worthy of it. There was a lot of dumb shit, for sure. But, yeah, I think...
It's okay, I covered it all in this
I think I earned it this week. So, yeah, just gotta remember to bring my keys with me next time. But that skunk is fucking cute, and it hangs out with all the feral cats in my neighborhood. So, nice little menagerie I've got going on in my backyard. And I guess
cute. He needs a name.
He does need a name. My wife named him. I gotta ask her what the little guy's name is, but I'll reveal that on the show next week if I can remember. Or when I see him again. Yeah, you were suggesting that I invite him over to watch the race, and I don't think that he was very interested in that. But yeah, I'll ask him to come over and watch the race when this happens to me again next week when Darlington's on, because it's definitely not the last time I'm going to fuck up and do this.
Bring him on the show.
I'd love to. He's probably got some shit to say.
He probably does.
What noises do skunks make? Anyway.
Google skunk noises now.
Pull it up. As we enter the short track septic tank, I'm going to go ahead and crack the door open. You guys can follow me in here. It's still pretty fucking busy out there. It's not quite the end of the year. I mean, this weekend on Flow is...
Yeah, sounds about right.
He's mad. Yeah. My skunk doesn't sound like that.
It's the sound he made when Larson shipped priests.
Yeah.
Back of the pack.
That's the sound I made when Larson shipped priests in the back of the pack. But while I was watching Daytona...
What attracted him to your backyard?
Well, he would be a priest fan. We are pretty close to Connecticut. Yeah. While I was watching Daytona out there with the skunk, I was watching some other racing as well. There was a decent amount of racing this weekend. This weekend on Flow and past weekend were absolutely jam-packed. Dirt Vision had a shit ton going on. Way too much to watch all of it, that's for sure. So I'm just going to focus in on the few things that I did pay attention to. We'll start with Arrowhead out in Oklahoma. The World of Outlaws went there at Colcord, Oklahoma. I mentioned that's pretty close to my folks in Arkansas, and this is one of the races I was hoping to get out to. But I'm glad I didn't, because on Friday night the power went out for several hours and it didn't come back on until like 9:30, 10, and they were just running hot laps that late. And I would have stayed up till 1 in the morning to watch Bobby Pierce win, which is not something I'm interested in. And he also won on Saturday night too, so Bobby Pierce's dominance continues as they march towards Eldora. Meanwhile, at Port Royal, a little bit closer to where I live here in Massachusetts, down in Pennsylvania. Hell of a show down there on Saturday night. RTJ and Chris Madden. Of course, if you follow dirt late model racing at all or listen to our World Finals show last year, you know that those two don't really like each other all that much. And that was on full display on Saturday night. Just a badass battle between the two of those guys. Ricky Thornton Jr. Threw a super aggressive slider and got Madden woed up on the top side and was able to drive off after losing the lead to Madden a little bit earlier. But just, trading blows all race. Cooler heads prevailed. They both agreed that it was a good race, and, it was for, 5 digits worth of money. I think it was $40,000 to win or something like that. So, and obviously Ricky Thornton is going for a Lucas Oil title, which he's definitely locked into the championship for as we move into that portion of the year. I believe there's only one more race at Lernerville for the Hillbilly 100 this weekend, and then it's on to the playoffs or whatever. It's more of a chase than playoffs, but he's definitely locked in, and then Davenport's locked in, and then there's a little bit of a battle between Devin Moran, Brandon Shepard, and a couple other guys for that last spot. That'll all play out on Flow Racing this weekend at Lernerville for the Hillbilly 100, but man, what a show that was. I got to get down to Port Royal. It's not all that far for me. I think it's about 6 hours and change. Also, shout out to friend of the program, Mike. He was a former guest, went to Martinsville with True Love. He was down there and had him a hell of a time. And
nice.
I think we're going to try and link up and do that next year, because Port Royal always puts on a good show. And anytime Ricky Thornton wins, it earns me a beer. So I very much enjoy that. Also, I did something I noticed as we enter Eldora season here. Of course, the Baltus Classic is on Sunday. And then the World 100 is the following week, which, of course, I'll be there for that. Last year, Flow Racing just flooded the market with content. Just all sorts of badass little features and vignettes and interviews and all that. And they've been just kind of doing reruns of shit they've done previously. So I don't know what the change is there, but I will say that I don't like it, and I wish they would do more of what they were doing. I don't know. I mean, I love the video of Mike Marlar crushing cars, but that one's definitely a couple years old. So, and we're about to enter the biggest race of the year, and not a whole lot of exclusive content coming out for that. So, definitely a little strange. Hopefully, they're not planning on scaling back their coverage going forward, especially of the big events in Lucas. Which, by the way, I didn't put this in the notes, but I will acknowledge another sad piece of news from the dirt late model world. Forrest Lucas passed away over the weekend. Of course, the founder of Lucas Oil and all the brands that encompasses.
I would say that's not even just late models. I mean, Lucas
it's
Oil
beyond that. Like,
I mean, they're everywhere,
But particularly the Lucas Oil late models, that was, I mean, the Chili Bowl, Kyle Busch's car and
monster
Cup Series,
trucks,
monster trucks,
drag racing,
IRP, Wheatland, all these tracks. I mean, basically, if you see the Lucas Oil logo slapped on it, it means you're about to see something quality. And that guy really gave a shit about motorsports and put his money where his mouth is, and he'll be sorely missed. There's no question about that. Over on the sprint car side of things, Corey Day won an awful rendition of the Gold Cup out at Silver Dollar. Man, that race was just, it rubbered off in like the first 10 laps, and it was just not good. But Corey Day won. This will be his third in a row, and he took home $100,071 for his troubles. Also, shout out to Britt Marks for winning last night at Douglas County. But yeah, Corey Day, I just don't like him, but he's really good. He's also freakishly tall in comparison to some of these guys. Anytime he's on the podium with Rico Abreu, it's just. Oh. He's tall enough with the normal height guys.
Yeah.
But when you get
put him on a podium.
Yeah. But yeah, it was lots of good racing this weekend. But the big feature at Silver Dollar was certainly not included in that, unfortunately. Spencer Baston definitely has been performing pretty well out in the West Coast for the high limit West Coast swing, driving for Paul Silva in the W. That's the number W car, so that's wrap your head around that one. But of course, Paul Silva, that's who fields Kyle Larson's cars anytime he runs. He brought over what the hell was his name? That Australian kid who didn't do all that good in 360s, Jock Goodyear. He's worked with a bunch of people. But he's added a new guy to his roster for the World of Outlaws West Coast Swing, and that's Donnie Schatz. So that'll be his third ride in about as many weeks. But when the World of Outlaws make it out there, I believe from Vado all the way up the West Coast, he'll be fielding a car for Donnie. This is certainly the best car that he has had a chance to be in since he got fired by Tony Stewart. And I think a lot of people have some high
All
expectations.
2 weeks ago.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's his third one. So, I mean, the big game thing didn't work out, and those guys aren't slouches by any means, but they focus on David Gravel, and putting together another team is tough to do. And, you know, the next guys he went to, kind of the same deal. But, you know, Paul Silva is dedicated to these cars. He doesn't need a lot of time to put a piece together for somebody, and you saw how well Spencer Baston was running, who is a good driver, but Paul Silva definitely elevated him in these high limit races. So I think we're going to see Donnie Schatz remind some people, or at least it's certainly his best shot at reminding people of who the fuck he is, because this last year certainly has not reflected that, unfortunately. One moment of comedy here, apparently, at Michael's Mercer Raceway. It's a dirt track. I'm just going to read the Facebook post because this is great. It says, I don't even know what happened here, but it must have been bad because it reads, "Attention mini stock drivers, following our meeting and numerous warnings which have seemingly been disregarded, we have made the decision to remove you all from the schedule for our upcoming race on 9/6, providing an opportunity for reflection on recent events and how to address them as drivers. We have repeatedly emphasized that this behavior must cease. Additionally, we will no longer tolerate drivers criticizing the track during interviews, as none of you are perfect. We have spent countless hours reviewing footage." And they're welcome back on the 20th for the Schaefer Memorial. So, yeah, I'm going to have to do some research on what happened here, because to park an entire division. I've seen him do it for features, you know, like that happened at Thompson earlier this year at the Icebreaker. They just parked all the street stocks and made them wait till the end, but I've never seen him just ban an entire division for the weekend, so that must have been pretty good. Lots of good racing coming up this weekend. Of course, I already mentioned the Hillbilly 100 at Lernerville. The Baltus Classic at Eldora on Sunday. That's going to be a good one. A little bit of a warm-up for the World 100. Coming up weekend after this one, which I cannot fucking wait for. NASCAR Modifieds are up at Oswego, along with the, I believe ISMA's up there too. Only 17 cars on the entry list for the NASCAR Tour Race, which is shitty. That's a damn shame. It sounds like
it's the Budweiser Classic this weekend.
That's right.
The big one.
Yeah, but no modifieds will be there. There'll be like 8 Catalanos and fucking Patrick Immerling, but whatever. It'll still be a show, and I'll watch it on Flow Racing. Most of the modifieds I know of are probably going down to the Smart Tour races this weekend. There's a couple of them. Cars Tours at Florence. High Limit's going to be at Skagit for 3 nights. Another over $100,000 payday to be handed out after that show. That's going to be good. World of Outlaws return to Huset's, and then I usually don't talk about the weekly Thunder Road stuff, but this week on Thursday night on Flow Racing, they're doing a Run What You Brung race. And I'm very excited to see what rolls up to Thunder Road for that. So that's appointment viewing, folks. I believe it's 7 p.m. on Flow Racing Thursday night for a Run What You Brung show at Thunder Road. Of course, that's late model country, that's super modified country, it's modified country, it's bang banger country, and you'll see them all on track together. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Run What You Brung race, but holy shit, those are fun. Absolute mess, and I cannot wait to see it. Probably see some sail panels out there too, if I had to guess, because why wouldn't you? But that's a short track set to take for this week, and I guess we're going to stay in it for this video of the week.
Well,
for many, a multitude of reasons.
Video first and get that over with.
Yeah, we're gonna do the easy one first. So I picked 2 videos of the week this week. The first one was a video from a guy named David Hoffman, who was a videographer, filmmaker, and he was doing some sort of show. I'm looking it up here now because I couldn't remember the name of the fucking show that he
Portrait
did.
of America.
There you go. So this was shot at Darlington in 1985 at the spring race, and while it was filmed in 85, it feels like it was filmed in the 70s. Like, just the tone and the actual film quality and everything, it seems way older than it actually is.
Yeah.
And also the people and stuff that they show. So they talk about the tradition of the race, and, you know, Darlington's, you know, been around for however many years. You know, obviously there's a lot of very cool crowd shots. There was one that I liked with a couple guys with some very cool NASCAR battle vests, those are everyone was just shithoused. There was one point where there's just like they go to this row of campers and like a rider truck, and just you can tell everybody's just drunk out of their fucking minds. See a bunch of Confederate flags, which isn't really a surprise for 1985. You know, you see Cale show up to the track, and he's signing autographs from the driver's seat of his van, and gets out of his van and just has his fire suit, like, in his hand, which I thought that was neat. So Cale, at this point in 85, was 46 years old, and he looks like he's in his 60s then, which is pretty fucking wild, and especially thinking about how old we are. And he's only a few years older than us.
He always kind of just looked perpetually the same age to me.
Yeah.
He was a pop-off from like age 20.
Yeah.
One that would whoop your ass. There's no question about
That's for damn sure.
You know, as they're setting up the story for the race, you know, they go through the pits and they show all the sportsman cars there. And there was a shot of a guy just sticking his head underneath a spinning wheel, which is pretty dangerous. You know, they talk about how at this point, you know, obviously 85 was one of Bill Elliott's best years, and he was Cale's main competition. You know, they just talk about the race itself, and, you know, they showed Earnhardt wrecking, and, you know, Cale was doing well in that race, but his power steering went out with 20 to go, and, you know, that was Bill. At that point, he hadn't won at Darlington yet, although, you know, he won later that year, winning the Winston Million. The narrator, when he's talking about Cale and his power steering issues, goes, "Without power steering, it's like wrestling a rhinoceros," which that was a cool line.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, this was just a fun little video. You know, any old footage like this that isn't just broadcast footage, I'm always down to check out.
For sure.
And you know, nice little precursor to Darlington coming up this weekend. So I enjoyed it. And you know, what did you guys think?
that was great. Have we watched this before?
I was wondering that too, because when I pulled it up on my YouTube, it said I had already watched it.
Yeah,
So I didn't know if I had just watched it on my own.
Definitely seen this before, and it just feels like something we would have watched.
I looked at the playlist and it wasn't on there. So,
But I will
yeah,
say, even if we did, it's worth watching again. It's just a nice. I wish there was more of it.
Yeah, just endless great visuals, all the fan shots, 10 out of 10.
100%.
Random Civil War cannons going off before the race.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was very cool.
A lot of pet paws.
A lot of.
Very much so. Yeah, there's one particular shot I gotta get a screenshot of like a very old guy, like with his face pressed up against the fence, which I enjoyed.
I also very much love how they the font they used to paint Darlington on the front stretch wall. It was kind of the Winston font. Maybe that's what it was supposed to be, but it's not that block font they use now. But man, that looked fucking cool.
Yeah.
That would make sense. But now we're gonna move on to our second video, which so
Hashtag chase me, baby.
oh boy. Before we dive too deep into this, I just want to say this first off.
What,
we all
Brian?
talked about this a little bit. We talked about this a little bit before the show. This is going to be more of a critique of the actual guys doing this sting. I mean, in the words of the immortal and recently passed King Cobra JFS, fuck sickos. Like, none of us are here to defend fucking pedophiles or anything. But at the same time, like, there's a lot more to say, I think, just about this whole premise, I guess. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I watched plenty of To Catch a Predator back when that was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, those were entertaining. And at the very least, like, they were legit in the sense that police were there. And,
Yeah,
Chris
they were
Hansen
in
was
on it
able-
from the beginning.
Yeah, like, it was, these guys were getting arrested. It was a serious thing. And, like, everything was, not to say legit, but I mean, it was legit in a sense. Whereas now there's been this trend, and I've spoken to this not just with you guys, with other friends and stuff, where you see a lot of these pedophile hunter guys that do these stings, and they'll do them in like Walmarts and like slap guys around and shit. And, I'm not going to say they're not entertaining, but at the same time, like, the legality of it all and just like how far some of these guys go with this stuff. Like again, I get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, like, I also feel like a lot of it is guys like trying to either gain notoriety or just like get out aggression and fucking just beat up people.
Yeah, this just
under the
happens
guise-
to be the avenue they've chosen for social media success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It all feels very disingenuous and like just some weird fucking, I almost want to say cosplay of sorts.
Well, this guy in particular, which we'll get into in a second here, like, it very much seems like
Where
that.
the fuck
And
do you want to start with this one, Brian?
So, let's start from the beginning. So, this guy, his name is he calls himself Skeeter Hansen. I think Skeeter is just his main name or whatever, but he's got
Straight
this
out of the
channel
gate.
and
Caught me off guard. To Skeet
Yeah.
the Predator, I was like, what?
That's not what you
Yeah,
think it
that's-
means. Right?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
I have a different definition of what skeet means than this guy,
Same.
apparently.
So Skeeter is going to Owasso Speedway in Michigan to meet up with a guy named Arthur, who he had some conversations with. It seemed like, under the guise of Arthur was speaking to a teenage girl. And in setting this all up, so Arthur ended up blocking the first decoy and then arranging to meet with another decoy whose age wasn't ever disclosed at the racetrack. So that's why these guys are going to the racetrack these days. And right off the bat, like, the guy Skeeter is just very patronizing about motorsports in general.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
I'll lead with. I'll handle this one. I don't care who this guy is catching. He's a dickhead. And if he
Yeah.
wasn't doing this, he'd probably be at a Hooters or something, giving the waitress shit. It's my birthday. Let me see your tits. That kind of shit. Oh, you got him, Skeet. That kind of shit. Like,
Yeah, this guy is
Butthead.
definitely a shitty human being, regardless of what he's trying to do here, 100%.
and super dismissive with everyone he comes across. It's very much the internet personified, I think, is a
Yes.
good way to put it.
Yeah.
which-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it, actually.
He buys like a shitty camo bucket hat to blend in with NASCAR fans, which, he again says so many fucking shitty things that, like,
And
regardless of what he's there to do, if you're a racing fan and watch this, you're
We have
annoyed.
the same favorite part, Rob.
He brings in the biggest pair of binoculars. It's like he's going on a safari. He's got these huge binoculars to go to Owasso, which is it's not that
Dude, I
big of a
don't-
place.
I don't fucking bring binoculars to Daytona or Talladega, let alone fucking a short track. Like,
Yeah.
nobody fucking needs, again, whatever. He's not a racing fan, so
Yeah, very clearly he's not.
they show some photos of the guy they're there to meet, Arthur. And Arthur, he's got the alcohol bulbous nose going, so
Well,
that gives
hold
you a
on
good
real quick.
idea.
Before we get into the interaction here, I want to go through the ad that he had in here. So.
Oh, yeah, that was right after they show the pictures of him, so that's on
Oh,
there.
okay, gotcha,
Yeah,
sorry.
there's a couple ads. The first one, like, I'll admit I skipped through it once I realized it was an ad, but it was definitely some sort of Cash App type deal,
Yep.
which is very weird to have ads on these types of videos and have like sponsors, like people paying you money to advertise their products with a fucking pedophile hunter. Again, like, I know they get views and stuff, but it's still kind of unseemly to me, I guess.
Yeah, and he's
Well,
just
the ad starts out, what up? It's your boy, Sellout Skeet. And immediately I was like, fucking damn it. I hate this. So
just walking around, like, not in the woods, but probably next to a gas station by his house with a big stick in his hand. Which, as the video progresses, or the ad progresses, it somehow gets sort of snapped in half. And then he closes the ad by breaking the stick over his knee, which is already halfway broken, which indicates to me that he probably did a couple takes of this. Just the lamest shit I've ever seen. And yeah, I will not be supporting any of these fucking Chumba Casino ass looking websites or whatever the fuck the sponsor was. Just anyway, fuck this guy. Continue. He's in the speedway now.
Yeah, they get to the track. Again, they need help finding the seats, which is ridiculous because it's a short track. You should need help getting your fucking seats, especially when you know what seats you're in.
By the way, beautiful facility. I didn't know Owasso was like this.
It looked nice.
Yeah, no, it's a very nice track. We'll get to that more, but
We should mention
he
the
does
shirt
say-
that Skeeter was wearing too.
what the hell did it say? I forget. Something sexual.
It said "Just raw dog it" in giant letters.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. He does, walking in there, he does say almost every guy here looks like him, which is fair. I'll give him that. That's fair. That's fair. We've all been to plenty of short tracks. Plenty of guys look like Arthur there. I get that. That's fair. But they eventually spot him because he did say which section, all bullshit he was going to be in. So, they show like a brief second of racing footage, and then they go up to Arthur, and the guy strikes up a conversation. And he's talking about drivers he likes, and all he's doing is making references to like fucking cars and Ricky Bobby and shit, and just.
This is when my blood really started boiling.
Yeah, it was. Again, as a racing fan, completely disregarding what he's there to do. As a racing fan, this is very annoying because, he's just completely patronizing and condescending about racing in general.
If a stranger sat next to me and said that shit, I would not have put up with that.
Yeah, no, my
not
beer
saying
would
I
have
would
been
have
on.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
My beer would have been on his head.
Would have been a little different.
The Skeeter guy, he kept saying over and over again, "I love watching the cars go around in the same circle." And basically the very first thing that Arthur says back to this guy is, it's just him revealing to him that he only has one eye.
Yes. Yep. There is another ad in this 20-minute video for his own Patreon, which has like hundreds of members. So people are paying money for not just more of this content, but like more violent content. Because I'm sure all the stuff where somebody gets beat up or whatever all gets put on there. So again, people are paying money to see more pedophiles get hunted, which... Why didn't you pay money for that? There's plenty of that out there. Like, there's so many of these fucking assholes doing this.
This guy has millions of views on his videos as well. So
Yeah.
definitely like
crazy.
Out of all the YouTubers we've covered, it definitely has the biggest audience. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Also, Skeeter asked the guy who his favorite driver was, and the Predator said, "I like the sheriff car," which I thought was ironic.
Yes, 100%. So Arthur calls himself Lee, which I guess is probably his middle name because the dude also points that out to him once he provides the evidence. Arthur at one point lights up a cig in the stands, which, regardless of what kind of person he is, that looks cool.
Yeah. Who amongst us,
So the guy, Skeet, is asking Arthur a bunch of questions about racing, and then all of a sudden he's like, well, my favorite driver is this guy. He's not here today, and he just pulls up his iPad with the guy's dick pic out. And
that was actually pretty funny.
The guy... Go ahead.
The best part of that to me was there's a guy a few rows up behind him who I'm pretty sure was checking out the iPad.
I'm sure, it's a fucking huge iPad. Like, you can't, it's a dick pic. Like, everybody's going to see that behind you. And Arthur, of course, just denies all of it. But as the guy keeps going through the evidence, like, he just slowly starts hanging his head in shame, and then all of a sudden he just very slowly and gingerly passes out onto the floor of the grandstands. And whether or not he's having an actual medical emergency or not, that's to be debated, but like, if he is having one, you don't really pass out like that. Like, I can totally understand, and the guy was like 69 or whatever, and
he definitely laid himself down very gently.
Yes.
A grown man just showed him his own dick on a giant iPad.
And the guy behind him.
So Arthur goes into this little fit, and Skeet doesn't know what to do, but immediately the fans next to him start going into action. And again, not to dismiss what's going on here, but none of these fucking people around these two know what's going on. They're just seeing a guy pass out, so they just go into help mode. And again, it's understandable.
I think any one of us would have behaved in the same way as these people did in this situation.
Yeah, you see an old man collapse slowly.
As this is happening, very quickly security and stuff come up there, and medical attention is received. And while all that's happening, Skeet is trying to tell people, hey, I'm here to confront this guy for trying to fuck a teen girl, and nobody cares. They're just this guy's dying, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I wonder if it has anything to do with the binoculars and the just rape it shirt or whatever the fuck he's wearing. Raw dog
guy.
Yeah.
The Skeeter guy tries to say he's okay. He's got his one eye open.
Yeah, and then security comes up, and crazy enough, all the security guards at this track, again, going back to how nice the facility is, they all have body cameras on.
What the
fuck? I have never seen that at a racetrack. I've never seen anybody at a racetrack with more than a walkie-talkie. So
I've never seen anyone that even knows how to operate an iPhone. So
I don't know what's going on at Owasso, but they got some funds up there, which not too many short tracks have. So good for them, I guess. But yeah, again, as they're attending to this guy, the cops show up and they're trying to tell the cops, but security is just telling these guys to leave because they have a camera, filming all this shit. And again, nobody knows what's going on. Eventually, they escort the guys out, and Skeet's trying to tell the guy, hey, we're here to, confront this guy for being a pedophile. And at one point, the guy goes, I don't care what you're here for. He's still a human. Just because he's talking to a little girl, he's still a human.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what to say about that, but he keeps asking if he's getting trespassed, and they just keep pushing him farther and farther away from the track, and, eventually completely out of the facility, more or less. And he speaks to some police officers, and they tell him to go to the station and file a report. And he goes to the station and meets with one of the most stereotypical looking cops I've ever seen in my life. Just a real skinny guy with a short haircut and this big bushy mustache. And, he explains the situation to the cop, and
he's like, you guys are doing one of those YouTube
one of those things, huh? The cops familiar with these types of assholes, I guess. So I couldn't find any reports from Arthur and what happened at the racetrack, so I don't know if he, again, while I totally understand him faking this to get out of it, as even Skeet himself says, I'm not going to lie, it's a pretty good tactic to get out of this.
This video did nothing to deter predators. It just taught them a new way to get out of these situations.
Yeah.
So it worked like a charm.
Again, I can totally understand him faking this, but I can also understand a 69-year-old man realizing his life is over and then actually having a heart attack. So who knows what happened there.
Yeah.
But that's the end of the video, and I hated every second of it. It was just awful.
I really didn't like it.
And I guess if anything, I think this also tells the other pedophile hunters to not try to do this at a racetrack, because clearly nobody else gave a shit that that's what he was there to do. They just saw this guy dying and wanted to help him. So. I can't. I'm not going to apologize for making you guys watch this, because I think we all, as much as we hated it, at least was entertaining in a sense. But it just, the whole thing left me with a bad taste in my mouth. It was just all awful, and I don't like I can't say I watch too many of these videos. Once in a blue moon, one will pop up in my feed, and I'll see it. But again, I get what they're trying to do. And it is good. Again, none of us are here defending pedophiles, but
no. I'm not defending this asshole either.
Yeah, this guy also sucks too. So it's
One thing that I thought as this went on is the Skeeter guy. His voice kind of reminded me of Grant Enfinger a little bit.
Oh.
He kind of had a Kermit the Frog Muppety And the whole time that he's like at the track trying to tell these people that, well, I'm here because he's a pedophile while he's having his medical emergency, he never like says it with his whole chest. He just kind of like mumbles it. And
mind you, there's racing happening while this is going on, so you probably can't hear a fucking word he's saying. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm with you. Like, I have no problem with people, and I understand why these videos exist and why people feel called to do this sort of thing, because law enforcement isn't particularly the greatest at dealing with crimes such as these. I mean, this is a different deal, but reminds me of, the lockers full of just expired rape kits that are sitting around in Albuquerque's like city hall or police station or whatever downtown. There was a big deal a few years ago where there's just hundreds of these things sitting there that will never get tested because there's either nobody to do it, they don't care about the cases, whatever it is. It's just never. So like, people don't trust the justice system to work,
right?
And especially with issues such as this one, like, you kind of feel the need to be a vigilante a little bit, and I fuck with that a little bit, but.
Just not this guy.
Not this guy, but that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, and it's not just him. There's actually a Vice documentary about some other dudes who do this, and you can kind of see the ego and the narcissism in the people putting these together. And like, this video is actually more about Skeet than it is about catching pedophiles. Yeah, it's about him, the guy. Look what I'm doing. Look at me. Look at me being a dick to these people. Look at me. Having a laugh at the expense of short track racing or whatever. I know that's not what he's thinking, obviously, but that's how I take it. Like, fuck you. Like, I don't want you in my space.
There's also that whole segment of the video where he tried to bring racism into it, which was completely unprovoked. Which,
it's like, whoa, you throw me out because I'm black? And the guy was like, yeah, it's because you're black. Absolutely. It's probably not the best way to handle that. But yeah, it's just, again, like I said, just Twitter and the internet in human form, just personified right here in this guy, and it really does a disservice to what the actual mission of this is supposed to be, in my opinion. It just makes my skin crawl. And also, like, obviously the guy did it because that was a human reaction we got out of our buddy Lee here. Well, not our buddy, but
Word twister.
This guy. Very clearly he did something wrong, but just like the setup and all that, like, it didn't really go into detail or anything. Like, it could have been, not saying he made it up, because clearly he didn't, but I don't know, you're ruining people's lives here potentially and not really laying anything out there for probably legal reasons. I don't know what it is, but like, it's just, the whole thing just left a sour taste in my mouth. And again, hopefully the police actually took care of this. Hopefully there was some justice.
I don't think this guy did.
I think he
working out of a police station where people have to go and push a button to get a cop to even show up.
Yeah, I feel like he probably went down to Cheddar's and had himself a lunch instead of checking in on this. But yeah, but again, that's why shit like this exists, is because law enforcement has a hard time actually doing.
They're focused on other useless bullshit.
Yeah. So, but this is not the way, folks, in my opinion.
I'm annoyed that Brian gave us 3 extra views on this guy's video.
Yeah, I would almost say don't watch this.
Don't. We just told you what happened right here.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, don't watch it for sure. But the video of the week next week, by all means, watch it. So.
It's the Rick Crawford story.
God, Jesus Christ. Oh boy. No, this will be a fun one. So, again, I'm going to be crunched for time this weekend. And I also wanted to pick something that's a little more uplifting after this particular week. So, we're going to watch an episode of a show that we've talked about on this podcast before. Simply titled. No, the episode title is just NASCAR. And it's a show called Titus.
Oh. I used to love this show.
I think we all like Titus. And this is an episode where Titus and his... You didn't like Titus, Rob?
I don't remember liking it.
I love
I
Titus.
didn't like it enough to watch it again.
I
guess I will.
like Titus, and also I recently saw a clip of Titus doing stand-up like this year, and unlike a lot of his peers, he is not a right-wing dickhead. So I'm excited to watch this. Apparently, it's just him. It's the episode premise is Titus and his dad delivering a stock car somewhere. So it's on YouTube. It's already on the playlist. So that's what we're gonna watch next week.
Very good.
This was definitely a show that me and my dad watched.
I watch it with my stepdad for sure. So I'm excited to. I've not watched this show in 20 years, so I'm curious as to how it'll hold up. But
I have a story about that show. It's kind of peripheral, but I'll save it for next week.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Well, with that, like I said, NASCAR is in Darlington this weekend, and I will be in Darlington just on Sunday. I'm flying in Sunday morning, and we'll be at the track Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, I guess if anyone's going and feels like having a beer with me, by all means, send a DM. But
where are you sitting?
Yeah.
Do you know?
We are sitting, so normally we sit right at the exit of 4 in the Pearson Tower, but I got the seats in the actual main grandstands this time because, I got them kind of late. And I also wanted to be in the main grandstand because that's where all the good food is.
Oh,
and,
that's for sure.
Because Bojangles is back sponsoring the race, I'm willing to bet that, like in previous years, Bojangles will actually have their food in the concession stands. So I'm excited about that.
For me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, normally I feel like they only serve like the tendies and like biscuits and stuff. So pretty
make
basic
a bird dog
stuff
for me.
Ain't that hard to do.
So yeah, I'll be in Darlington. Are you guys doing any racing stuff this weekend?
No, not this weekend.
Nope. I gotta help my brother move. So.
Yeah, this is my last weekend at home before I head out to Ohio for the World 100, and then I'm going to.
Is that next weekend or in like 2 weeks?
It's next weekend. Yeah.
Ah, fuck. Okay, well, good to know.
And we'll talk more about that next week. We'll probably talk a lot about it at length in the septic tank, kind of setting the stage for the World 100. Of course, the greatest dirt late model race of them all, and I can't wait to be there and see everybody. It's going to be good, but again, more on that later. But no, I'll be at home hanging out with the skunks in the backyard this weekend watching the Southern 500.
Noise.
That was my cat. That was my cat.
That was a Sturb song?
Cool. All right. Well, with that, as always, you can follow us on Instagram at meetmeatapplebees, on Twitter at meetmeatapplebees. I am Speedway Screens on all the things. SpeedwayTSJ.etsy.com is the shop. MMA Applebees at checkout for 15% off. But as per my tradition, anytime I go out of town to a race, I'll be doing a sale this weekend, so you can save big. So
the Bojangles Fund. Fill it up. Fill his pockets, folks.
Snake Mountain True Love. Hashtag chase me, baby. It's gonna be my playoff hashtag.
Rob Moats _ unofficial on Instagram. You can follow me for skunk content and anything adjacent. My band's called These Wild Plains. And that's all I got.
Cool. Well, with that, the check is here. So thanks for joining us again at Applebee's, and we'll talk to you all next week.